The idea, when Maya first mentioned it, had landed like a spark. An outdoor art gallery opening, hosted by a friend from her program. It was perfect, casual, sophisticated, and filled with the kind of artistic, open-minded people who wouldn't look twice. For a moment, a giddy, soaring feeling had filled Alan's chest, the same weightless joy he'd felt dancing with Maya in the living room, the music turning their apartment into a ballroom for two. But now, the night before, the spark had become a cold, heavy stone in his stomach. He sat on the edge of their bed, tracing the grain of the wooden floor with his eyes. The joy was gone, replaced by a familiar, creeping dread. Every insecurity he had ever harbored was crawling out of the dark corners of his mind. His hands felt too big, his shoulders too broad. The memory of his fluid, graceful movements during their dance lesson now seemed like a fluke, a trick of the light. Maya came in from the living room, a mug of chamomile tea in each hand. She didn't say anything at first, just sat beside him, the warmth of her presence a silent offering. She nudged a mug into his hand. "It's too soon," he finally whispered, the words tasting like failure. "I can't do it, Maya. I'm not ready." "What are you afraid of?" she asked softly. It wasn't a challenge, but a genuine question. "Everything," the word came out choked. "My voice, the way I walk. What if I trip? What if someone notices my jaw or my hands? They won't see Allie. They'll just see a man playing dress-up. They'll see a joke. And they'll look at you. And they'll pity you." The final fear hung in the air between them, raw and ugly. He couldn't meet her eyes, ashamed of the doubt he was casting on her strength, on their partnership. Maya set her mug down and gently took his. She placed both on the nightstand before turning to face him fully, taking his larger hands in her small, warm ones. "Hey, look at me," she said, her voice firm but kind. He reluctantly lifted his gaze. "I am not afraid of what other people think. The only thing that matters to me tomorrow is you, and I have never, ever felt pity for you. I feel pride." He shook his head, a fresh wave of self-doubt washing over him. "But I'm not convincing. I'm just an imitation." "Is that what you felt when we were dancing?" she asked. "Did you feel like an imitation then? Or when you saw yourself in the mirror for the first time, with the makeup and the wig? Alan, I saw you. You weren't imitating anyone. You were just becoming visible." Her words cut through the noise in his head. She wasn't dismissing his fear. She was holding it up to the light and showing him the truth that lay on the other side. She remembered the specific moments of breakthrough, the flicker of genuine self-recognition in his own eyes. "We can leave the second you want to," she continued, squeezing his hands. "We can get there, walk one lap, and go home. Or we cannot go at all. This isn't a test you have to pass, Allie. It's just a chance to go outside and feel the sun on your skin." Hearing Maya say it with such calm certainty was like a steadying hand on his back. He took a deep, shuddering breath, the scent of chamomile filling his lungs. He was still terrified, but Maya had given him a foothold. The next evening, a quiet, focused ritual unfolded in their bedroom. Maya had laid out the chosen outfit on the bed, a floral, A-line midi dress with a cinched waist and a pair of low, sensible block heels. It was beautiful, but seeing it there, waiting for him, made his heart hammer against his ribs. He sat at the small vanity Maya had set up, a fresh-shaved canvas. Maya worked with a practiced, gentle efficiency, her presence a calming anchor in his sea of anxiety. The cool slide of foundation, the soft whisk of a powder brush, the delicate, careful application of mascara, each step was a quiet meditation. They didn't speak much. They didn't need to. This was their language now, a shared act of creation. When the makeup was done and the soft brown wig was settled perfectly, Maya handed him the dress. He slipped it on, the fabric cool and light against his skin. He stepped into the heels, his balance a little wobbly at first, but then he found his center, remembering Maya's lessons on posture, shoulders back, hips forward. He stood before the full-length mirror. Allie looked back. Her eyes, wide with a familiar fear, were the only thing that betrayed the man beneath. But everything else, the gentle slope of her shoulders in the dress, the soft curve the wig gave to her jawline, the hesitant but hopeful expression on her painted lips, it was her. The fear hadn't vanished. It was still there, a low hum beneath the surface. But looking at his reflection, at Maya's proud, loving smile in the mirror behind him, he felt another emotion rising to meet it, a fragile, fierce determination. He had come too far to let fear keep him locked inside. He took a deep breath, the dress rustling with the movement. He met Maya's gaze in the reflection. "Ready?" she asked softly. He gave a single, decisive nod. "Ready." The gentle crunch of gravel under her heels sounded like a klaxon in the quiet evening air. Each step was a deliberate, calculated action, a command sent from her brain to her feet. Point, roll, lift. She could feel the soft fabric of her floral wrap dress whisper against her legs, a constant reminder of her own audacity. The low murmur of conversation and the faint clinking of glasses drifted from the gallery's manicured lawn, and with every sound, Allie's heart hammered a more frantic rhythm against her ribs. Her hand was a vice on Maya's arm. "Just breathe," Maya murmured, her voice a warm, steady anchor in Allie's storm of anxiety. "We're just two people looking at some art." It sounded so simple when Maya said it. But Allie felt like an alien in a borrowed skin, a fraud about to be exposed under the soft glow of the string lights overhead. She kept her chin tucked, her eyes fixed on a point just past Maya's shoulder, terrified of making eye contact. The lessons swirled in her head: shoulders back, posture open, don't stare at the ground, graceful hands. It was a litany of rules for a language she was still learning to speak. She felt less like a woman and more like an elaborate, fragile puppet, with Maya holding the strings of her courage. Maya led them towards the drinks table, navigating the small clusters of people with an easy grace that Allie envied. She accepted a glass of white wine, her fingers trembling slightly as she took it. The cool glass was a small, solid thing to focus on. She watched people chat and laugh, their movements fluid and unthinking. No one was looking at her. No one seemed to notice or care. The realization was both a profound relief and strangely anticlimactic. All that fear, and she was just part of the scenery. She focused on her training, mimicking Maya's relaxed stance as they stood near a large, abstract metal sculpture. She shifted her weight to one hip, letting her arm hang loosely at her side. It felt performative, but it was better than freezing in place. "I love the texture on this one," Maya said, gesturing at the sculpture. "It looks like hammered honeycomb." Allie nodded, trying to form a response, but her throat felt tight. The words wouldn't come. She was too busy being Allie to have an opinion. It was then that a woman with a chic silver bob and a kind smile turned from the sculpture towards them. Allie's entire body went rigid. This is it, she thought. She knows. The woman's eyes, however, didn't hold scrutiny or suspicion. They crinkled at the corners as she smiled, her gaze landing on Allie's dress. "I'm sorry to interrupt," the woman said, her voice warm and genuine. "I just have to say, that is a beautiful dress. The wildflower print is just lovely on you." The world stopped for a second. Allie stared, momentarily forgetting to breathe. The compliment was so simple, so mundane, yet it landed with the force of a revelation. The woman wasn't commenting on her makeup, her wig, or her voice. She was complimenting her choice. A choice Allie had made with Maya, poring over websites for hours. A choice that felt like a piece of her own emergent taste. "Oh," Allie managed, her voice a little breathless. "Thank you, so much." "Of course," the woman said with another friendly smile, before turning her attention back to the art. The interaction was over in 10 seconds, but it had rewired Allie's entire nervous system. A small, warm current spread through her chest, loosening the knot of terror that had been lodged there all evening. She took a deep breath, and for the first time, it didn't feel shallow and shaky. It felt real. She looked at Maya, whose eyes were shining with a quiet, fierce pride. Maya gave her hand a gentle squeeze. The checklist in Allie's head went silent. The rigid instructions on how to stand and walk and exist simply dissolved. She took a sip of her wine, the crisp, fruity taste finally registering on her tongue. She looked around, and she wasn't seeing a jury of potential judges anymore. She saw people enjoying a beautiful evening. They began to walk, and her steps felt less like a tightrope act and more like walking. She found herself actually looking at the art, noticing the way a particular artist used color or how light played across a polished surface. She pointed out a small ceramic piece to Maya, a whimsical bird with impossibly long legs. "He looks like he's perpetually late for something important," Allie said, and was surprised by the sound of her own voice, light and steady, a dry wit she recognized as her own. Maya laughed, a beautiful, genuine sound that wrapped around Allie like a blanket. "He absolutely does. Probably a board meeting." They fell into an easy rhythm, moving through the garden, their conversation flowing. Allie wasn't performing anymore. The armor of self-consciousness had cracked, and underneath, she felt a quiet, profound sense of just being. She was a woman in a pretty dress, drinking wine with the person she loved on a perfect summer night. And for the first time, in the gentle breeze among the sculptures and the wildflowers, it felt like the truest thing in the world. If you loved this video, give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you want to see next, and smash the hype button to help my channel grow. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss the next video. You can jump to it right here.